Hello again, and now in this lesson we are going to cover process management. What is a process management? Anything that has to do with the process, how we manage it, how we start it, how we stop it, and how we bring it in the foreground, how we bring it in the background, all that stuff is process management. Let's go over all the commands that are associated with managing processes. The first one, or the set of commands that we have, are putting a process in the background. So why do we need to put a process in the background? Let's talk about that first. When you run a process on your terminal, meaning when you open up a console or when you open up a PuTTY terminal, when you run a process on your terminal, it will run it and it will not give you your prompt back. So if you want to do certain other task or you want to exit out of it, it will stop your process. So how do you run it in the background? So the command is Control Z. First you run the process, then type Control Z, it will stop the process. Then you type jobs to list what is being stopped, and then you type BG, which is to put the process in the background. Then we have foreground. So if you are done with all other tasks that you're doing on your terminal and you want to bring the process that you had put in the background initially and you wanted to see the process of it, then you type FG for foreground and that process will become live again on your console. To run a process even after you exit, meaning if you exit or if you close your terminal while your process is running, what will happen? It will stop the process. So how do you prevent it? There's a command called no hop. It means don't send any kind of signals to stop it. So no hop the process and followed by the sign ampersand or and sign, which is on top of your number 7 key on your keyboard. Another command for that is no hop the process and redirect sign to dev null and to redirect ampersand1 and ampersand again. Why do we have all that stuff there? Because certain times when you run certain commands like no hop, it gives some kind of warning, some kind of information about that process. So you don't want to see that. You want all that garbage to go out to dev null. So dev null is kind of outputting to a door that you don't want to see the output for. Then to kill a process by name, you guys already know how to kill a process by a process ID, right? So you kill followed by the process ID kills the process. What if you want to kill a process by its name? So let's say if you have a command, if you have a process called top, right? So you run the command top. If you want to kill it by the name, you just simply type pkill followed by the name of the process, which is top. Process priority, nice. There is a command called nice. And why do we use it? Because if we want to prioritize by different level of process, meaning if a process is very important than the other, it has to be prioritized, right? So the niceness scale goes from -20 to 19. The lower the number, the more priority that task gets. Now, why do we really need to go with the priority of the task? Doesn't that processor CPU takes care of that, right? It does take care of that. But remember one thing. If you have one CPU in your computer or your laptop, it means it will process one program at a time. So think of it as a juggling. So if you have 2 hands and you have 5 balls to throw it in the air, what will happen? Can you hold all five balls in your hands? No, right? So think of balls as programs that you need to process. So you would have to juggle it one after the other. So what nice does is nice tells, hey, this ball or this process is important to me, so make sure this stays in the hand most often than any other balls. So that's what nice does. We'll talk about that when we open up our terminal session. Then how to monitor a process is by running the command top, and how to list all the processes that you have running in your computer. The command is PS, followed by, of course, many different options that you could use. So anyway, let's get into our Linux machine. I have it open right here, our console. So I am logged in as myself. I want to become root. So become root. Now I want to log into the PuTTY session as well. So this way I could run certain different programs from one terminal and kill it on the other terminal. So for that, to log into the PuTTY, what do I need? I need an IP address of my machine. The command is ipaddr or ifconfig, whichever you prefer. But if you're running a latest version of Linux, then you probably not going to have ifconfig, so run IP command. And the IP address you'll see right here, it says 192.168.56.101. So go into your PuTTY terminal. I have my PuTTY terminal right here, and I'm going to type it in my IP address, which is 192.168.56.101. Hit enter. Log in as root. The first one is Control Z. So I'm going to run a command called sleep. Sleep is a command which will delay certain programs. Let's say if you're running a program ABC and you wanted to run a second set of program, but you wanted to wait for 10 seconds. So you put it a sleep command. That's what it does. It just waits for 10 seconds and it goes to the next set of instruction. So if I type, let's say if I type sleep 5, it will wait for 5 seconds until I get my prompt back. You'll see I'll get my prompt. See, I got the prompt back right away after 5 seconds. So that's what sleep does. Don't focus too much on sleep. Focus on what I'm going to teach you about process management. So I'm going to leverage this lesson on the command sleep. So this way it will be easier to understand. So if I run the command sleep 100, what will happen? I will have to wait 100 seconds until I get my prompt back, right? So I want to run that process in the background. So I will do Control Z. It has stopped the process. Now it's not running actually in the background. To run that in the background, you have to type the command BG, which is for background. But let's say if you are running multiple process and they are all of them stopped, some of them are running. So the command to check what are the process that are stopped right now. So you just type command jobs and you will see there is one process that's been stopped by the command Control Z. If you want to run that process, bring it and send it to the background, then you type BG. This will send this process in the background. See, it is running now. So when you type jobs, you'll see right here, it's not stopped. See, it's running. So, but it is running in the background. You could also check by ps-ef command by typing sleep, and you will see right here sleep 100. The other sleep 60, you could ignore that. This runs all the time if you're running virtual machine. Anyway, sleep 100 is still running. What if you want to bring it in the foreground? So then you type FG. See, it's brought back that process in the foreground, and now you notice I do not have my prompt back. Why? Because the process is still running. So what if I wanted to put it back in the background? Okay, so 100 seconds are done. I got my prompt back. If I wanted to put it back in the background, I would have typed Control Z. Okay, so now the next one we have is about no-hub process. What is a no-hub? Well, no-hub is if you run a process and then you close your terminal, meaning this terminal, if I close it right now, let's say if I'm running a command sleep 100, it is going to run, or it's going to wait for 100. Now, if I go to my console, let's clear the screen, and I type ps-ef and do grep sleep, you'll see the sleep 100 is running, right? So if I wanted to not this terminal, let's close this terminal. I have a couple of terminal open. So if I close this and then do ps-ef sleep, so now you will see both sleep 100 are gone. So every time you run a process, it attaches itself with that terminal. Now, how do we run a process without interrupting the process when we close our terminal? So let's go to our PuTTY session again. To run a process in the background, and when you close the terminal, it won't impact it. You run nohup, and the name of the process, which is sleep 100. Let's put a sleep 75 just to differentiate it, and ampersand. So you hit enter, and you will see now it's running that process in the background. So when you do jobs, and you'll see it is running, but it is not impacting your terminal. It's not attached to your terminal. So even at this time, if you close it, this process will still run. Now, what about this nohub ignore input and appending output to nohub.out? Well, every time you run a nohub command, it actually creates a file called nohub.out. So what it has all the information, all the things that you have typed in there. It will just record everything. What if you just don't want to see that message comes up on the screen? Or many times when you run certain commands, it gives you a message that this command was created on this day, and so many other stuff. So to get rid of that message, you could type nohub sleep 73, just to differentiate again, greater than sign /dev /null 2 greater than sign ampersand 1 ampersand again. Hit enter, and now you will see you did not get all that stuff that you were getting it before, because what we are saying is whatever that comes up on the screen, those error messages, a warning, or those even informational messages, just send it to dev null. Don't send it on the screen. So it sent it in the back. Now what if you want to see what's running in the back? You run jobs, and you'll see this one process is running in the background. Now again, what if you want to bring that process in the foreground? Just type foreground, and you'll see it is running, and it is on the foreground, and you will not get your prompt back until it waits for 73 seconds. Once it finishes 73 seconds, then we'll get a prompt back. Anyway, let's control C out of it, which will completely stop, because if you type jobs now, you won't see any jobs. The next lesson, or sorry, the next topic of this lesson is about process priority, which means run a process with a certain priority. So you could just simply type nice space -n and space, what's the priority you want to give it? -20, which is the highest one. No, I don't want it to mess up my other processes in the system. So I'll just simply say 5, and then I'll do sleep -10. I hit enter. Now what it's doing is it's telling CPU, hey CPU, I have this process sleep 10, and please give this process priority 5, which is not too high, which is not too low. It will tell that to the CPU, and CPU will process that according to the command of nice. That's what nice is. If you want to run your process to be the top priority, it is very important, then I would say run nice -n -20, the name of the process, hit enter, and CPU will say, hey, that's it, I have nothing to do but to take care of this process right away. That's about the nice or the priority. The other ones we already covered, which is the process monitoring, and of course the list of process to see what other processes are available in the system.